Hello, good afternoon. Hello, is audible, visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So again we come back. Actually, I am discussing the conditional statement. Already if else if end statement we have discussed. There is another statement which is called actually switch structure. Switch SWIT switch structure is there. Switch structure just like if else statement, same as if else if. In C there are also switch statement is there. In C by default is there, but here otherwise option is there. So uh, at this moment I am not discussing switch. So we are going to another important structure which is called loop control structure. Loop control structure. It is very important because of any program there is some statement which are required to repeat conditions. So how that types of structure can be controlled, that will be discussed now. So that is called loop structure. Basically in any program, if you see clearly, there are three structures. First one, sequential structures, when all statements are executed one by one, top to bottom approach. That is called actually sequential structure. Another is selective structures. There is some statements that can be selected on the basis of some conditions. That is selective structure. In MATLAB, already we have told the selective structure is performed by if statement, if else, and switch. Last structure, that is loop structure, that is used for repetition, one or more statement with respect to some conditions. In MATLAB, there are two loop structures. One is for loop, number one for loop, and another is while loop. Two loop, for loop and while loop. You can use any one whenever you require for repetition. In C, there are three structures. Do while also is there, but in MATLAB, do while is not present. Whatever it may be. Now, what is the format of for loop? The format of for loop like this. Format of for loop like this. For loop. For it is the keyword. Take some variable, that is actually index a variable equal to initial colon interval colon final. Then there will be some statements, then end. This is the structure actually. This is the structure, colon. Initial, colon, interval, colon, final statement. Actually, you see, this is the regular array, which already we have told. It is called actually regular array. See, regular array is used in for structure, and those statements which have to repeat it, that will be enclosed here. This is called body of the loop, body of the for loop. This is called, and statement will be enclosed by end statement. This is for. So let us take an example to illustrate. Suppose you want to get the value of this series. Suppose 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot dot 1. You want to get the sum of this series, not using any mathematical formula. Formula is there, you know, the sum of natural numbers n into n plus 1 by 2. Not using, without using any formula, how this value of the summation can be performed. Actually, this can be done very easily by this loop structure. You see, loop. Suppose A is the upper limit. This is the upper limit. Suppose upper limit means it may be 100, it may be 200, it may be 1000, 5000, something like this. And sum equal to 0. Then for loop of I equal to 1 colon u. Then sum equal to sum plus r int. And by this structure, this is the structure. By this structure, you get the sum of these numbers. Then you want to display the result. So you can use either display DISP or fprintf. Result equal to percentage d. The sum. So we are seeing, and then run. Actually, here message is different. There is some mistake. 100. This is the summation. This is the result of 1 plus 2 up to 1000. 100. Enter the upper boundary. 1 minute. One limit. Suppose 500. This is the sum. So actually technique is here number is added repeatedly. For this reason, for loop has been required. So this is one structure, first structure. Another structure is while loop. You can also while loop to get same thing, same result. Format is like this: while, then expressions, that is conditional expression. After that, statements. This is the structure. While, end, this is the keyword. expression, that is conditions. Uh, mm, uh, if it is true, expression is true, then statement will be executed. That means uh, up to that time it will be executed when it is true. Now same result, same thing, same summation, same program can be written by this structure while end. In that case, here we have to put while expression. Expression means here I less than equal to u, less than equal to u, sum equal to sum plus I equal to I plus 1, and here I equal to 1. Please look at the change, what we have changed when you are using the while end statement. This is the upper boundary up to which an upper number, natural number, up to which sum will be done. Initially sum 0 and sum will be start from I equal to 1. If I less than equal to u, then it will be repeated. Sum equal to sum plus I, then I will be incremented, I equal to I plus 1. In this way it will be done. See, upper limit suppose 20, you see this is the result. So when you require the repetitions, you can use any structure, either for loop or while loop. So these are the basic structures. If we review our discussions, what we have discussed up to this point, you see, we have discussed how to give input, output, and regarding array, matrix briefly, and conditional statement, or statement, and the variable concept. So you can, when you want to write any program, this basic structure must be kept. But in the repetitions, there are two statements required. Sometimes these two statements is necessary. While this repetition is going on, for some values of I, this statement, I think, not to required to execute it. Or suppose when this is the repetition is going on, due to some abnormality of the operations, it is necessary to stop the executions. Suppose, for example, suppose you have an array. Suppose you have an array. For example, suppose you have an array. Suppose you have an array. You have 56, 0, 34, 89. You have an array. This is an array. And you want to get the inverse, the reciprocal element. Reciprocal elements, when you want to display the reciprocal of all those elements. That means you want to get the reciprocals, means y equal to 1 by 12, 1 by 56, and 1 by 0. So here the operation is abnormal. operation cannot be performed because division by 0. This is not required. So how these, but remaining operation is required. So 1 by 32, 1 by 89 is required. So how this operation will be ignored? This operation will be ignored. For ignore these operations, it is required the break statement. Break and continue. Two statement is required. That is, one is called break, that is very important. Break. Another is continue. Another is continue. Please check how this program can be done. Suppose the array X, just you put the array, so you require input statement, enter an array of numbers, then array of numbers, then you for loop, you want for I equal to 1 to up to which? Now up to the last element of this array. But you do not know how many elements is there. This is an array. At the time of running, you give the array. So at that time, if you give 5 values, the number of elements 5. If you 10, if you give 20, 20. So that is variable. So how the length of this array will be updated. Now for getting the length of this array, there is a built-in function. That is length function is there. Length. You see length. Suppose x equal to 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. How many numbers? 5 numbers is there because it is seen. So these 5 can be obtained. These 5 obtained by length function. Length of x. Length of x. Length of x means number of elements. You see, number of elements in that is 5. So by length built-in function, the length is very important. You have to remember length function, length built-in function. You are able to get the number of elements in the array. So in the program, here it is required length, length of x up to length that means 1 to length of x. Then here it is required what? You have to check the element. If it is 0 or non-zero. If it is non-zero, be obtained. Otherwise, you have to stop process. So you put the conditional statement. If conditional statement. If xi equal to 0, then display. What is display? 0 element is encountered. 0 element is encountered. 0 element is encountered. Then, so you cannot perform the operation. So you want to break this loop. You want actually you are not continue this loop. In that case, you have to break. If it is not 0, then in that case inverse will be obtained. Y equal to 1 divided by xy, and this is the end. This is the end. So here now you put the result. You printed this way. DISP. So I think it is clear to run this program. You see, 2 inverse has been obtained. 2 inverse only. 10833, 10294, and 0 element is encountered. That means due to presence of 0, we are not getting the inverse 6 and 7. But we are also able to get the inverse 6 and 7 except 0 by continuous statement. If you use the continuous statement, then you can get it. Continuous statement. In that case, you have to use here the continue. Continue means that iteration will not be performed, but after remaining iteration, except this, that iteration will be skipped and remaining operation will be performed. Whenever this condition is fulfilled, then that iteration will be skipped. So you use continue. If you use continue, in that case, you see 14, 45, 67, this is 0 and 30. All inverse has been obtained. So what is the utility of break and continue? I think it is clear. So in the program, obviously, these 2 statements very important. Without the help of these 2 statements, we cannot perform the complex problem. Then we have to discuss how to construct a function in MATLAB. Actually, already we have told that this is a function. This is built-in function. Length, this is another built-in function. Display, this is another built-in function. How to write down the built-in function in MATLAB, that will be discussed now. How built-in function will be thought.
Excuse me, sir. Can we use break and continue in a same program?
Maybe required depending on the nature of the problem. Okay.
Yes.
Nature of the problem, you must use break and continue. Suppose your problem such a way that in some part, some statement will be skipped. In that case, you have to use continue. and in the same
Yes,
program
ma'am.
there is some part that is not required. In that case, break. So obviously, break and continue. You have to write down in a in a single program, but that
Sir,
depends on the nature of the problem. Okay.
okay, sir.
I think is it clear? Okay, how
Sir, it
break
is.
and continue is used?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes,
it is
sir.
possible. Sir,
Beg
suppose.
beg your
Sir,
pardon? Hello, madam.
yes, sir.
Yes. The next
Sir,
next time
hello.
discuss the function. Hello.
Sir, in comment window, after zero element is encountered, I just only get three position number. After that, you get zero or 0.0313.
Uh,
I did not get.
uh,
I just only get 0.0833, 0.0222, 0.0149. After that, I did not get 0 or 0.0313.
you did not want to these things.
I
Actually,
did not get
I am
it.
not clear.
In
What
comment
are you
window.
saying? Please again speak
Can
your
I
problem.
share this picture in
This
WhatsApp?
is the array. What are you saying?
WhatsApp.
Huh? Go, please,
Sir,
please
I
go.
shared the picture in a WhatsApp group.
Okay. The next, I am discussing the function. How to. This is very important. How to form a user-defined function. Define function. User-defined function. How to form a user-defined function. Already, we have used built-in function, but we want to define to explain the program for factorial. You know factorial, factorial. Actually, in the MATLAB, factorial is a built-in function. Factorial is a built-in function. MATLAB. By factorial, you can get the factorial value. Factorial value. So this is built-in function. But if we do not use this built-in function and we want to write our own script, own coding, then it will be like this. Factorial. Suppose n equal to input, enter a number, then fact equal to 1 or I equal to 1 colon n efficiency, fact equal to efficiency star I int and display. Display. So this is our own coding by which we can get the factorial of a number, and this is a built-in function by which get the factorial. You see the result. Suppose this is 6. So this is 7. Now, if you want to calculate NCR, you know NCR, combination out of n object, taking R object at a time. So NCR, we want to calculate the NCR. So in this case, there are three factorials: factorial n, factorial r, and factorial n minus r. So if you write down, if you want to get this value of NCR, you have to write here these codes three times. Suppose n input, enter the number, then r input, enter r, then next 3 factorial. First of all, factorial n, or this is the factorial n. After that, factorial r, factorial r, factorial r, factorial r, factorial r, then factorial n minus r, n minus r, n r, three factorials. This coding for factorial n, this coding for factorial r, this coding for factorial n minus r. For 3 loop structure is required. Then NCR equal to fact n divided by fact r into fact inner, then display NCR. So get the NCR, we have write down the 3 factorial coding. Factorial n, suppose 4, factorial r, suppose 3. So this is the NCR. This is the NCR value. Here, one thing you notice, some statements are repeated again and again. Same type of statement. You see, for this one and this one and this one are same type of statements. Only difference here. Here n, here r, here n minus r. Rest of these of coding similar type. So to compact your main program, it is required to minimize the coding, and that can be performed by defining a function, user defining function. If you create a function, user defined function, which calculate the factorial n, then again and again repetition of the statements is not required. Just you call this function like this built-in function to perform the necessary things. So how to define that built-in function? That is the main things that will now I discuss how built-in function will be defined. For define built-in function, First, you have to write down the keyword function. This function you have to write down. This is the keyword. Must you have to write. Format is like this. Then within square bracket, output 1, comma, output 2, comma, output n. Then function name, then argument. That means how many values are required to send the functions, perform the operations. That is input argument 1, input argument 2, like this input argument n. This is the first one. This must be keyword. This is function name, just like variable name. It will be given by you as you like, but taking care the naming rules of a variable. And these are the output. That means how many values will be returned from these functions through this variable. That is the output argument. And these are the input arguments. That means to perform the function, how many values will be sent to this part. That is here. This is the main line. After that, you write down the coding to perform the operations. This is main thing. So remember these things only. If there is only one output function, output value, then the second bracket is not required. It is not required. Just O1 equal. If there is only one input argument, so just write down these things. If there is no input argument, you have not mentioned these things. If there is no output statement, so it is not required. Just make simple. I think it is clear. Now we want to build a user-defined function to calculate the factorial. So suppose output is 1, and output is y equal to fact. Obviously, there will be one argument in. The argument is there. One argument, this one. Then you write down. Then just write down coding. Code will be product equal to 1 or I equal to 1 colon n, plot equal to plot into I n. This is the coding, factorial coding. You see, very simple. Fact is for factorial. This is user-defined function. So now you save it. You have to save this function. But you have to save this function. Name of the file must be the function name. The function name is fact. So when you are saving this file, you have to give the file name fact. Same. That means file name and function name must be equal, must be same. So now we'll save. Fact. That is there. So it is set. Oh? So now it close it, and now you write down new function. Suppose new function. This function is to calculate the NCR. NCR. So N equal to input, enter, in, R equal to input, enter, R. It's clear. Then NCR. NCR. Answer will be, now we call, now your defined function fact, FACT, just you define fact. Fact in divided by fact R into fact in minus R. Here we have used our defined function, active, just to define it. And that is using in another function. So if you define any function and store your system, that function can be used in future purpose. That will be store your system. Next, just to display the factorial, if printed the NCR equal to NCR. To program complete, now save it. This is about the NCR. Now run it. Factorial n, suppose 4, factorial r, suppose 3. Line 3 error.
Put dot before the slash. Actually, the division is not performing here. In editor window, with fact 10, after fact 10, put dot.
No, put dot, you are right, but put dot, that is different purpose. When you are performing element-wise multiplication, element-wise division, in that purpose, put is required. Put dot, put star, that purpose is different. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Purpose, dot is used for element-wise multiplications. If here we giving n as an array, R is an array, in that case that is required. But function defined কি ছিল? Efficiency first. Acha. Here is a mistake. Now, sir, please look at this. Actually, error is here. What is error? Actually, we want to return which value? Prod value. Prod. This is the output. So you have to write down here prod. Here. Okay. Now see. Four. prod equal to 1 to it's clear. I equal to 1 to n. Then I
Sir,
had
sir,
just
in the main program, I think you have to write prod n into prod r.
beg your pardon.
Sir, actually you are calling the function prod. So you have to use prod r, prod n divided by prod r dot prod r. We already know.
Okay. No, okay. You have to into okay. You see, actually, this is the case. So, actually, in the system, in the workplace, there is another variable fact already we have done. In this case, this cannot be located. You have to give the function name uniquely. So I just change facto. Facto. You see, this is the factorial. This is the factorial, actually facto, and file name also facto. This will be must same. And here a value which is returned, that is by prod. So prod, this is the output variable. This is the output variable. This is the input variable. This is okay. And just we call that functions facto n, facto r, facto n minus r, and NCR. So by this program, we have demonstrated how to develop a user-defined function and how to call it. And another things, just mention one participant, dot star. Not only dot star, dot star, dot slash dot. What is the dot? Now, when element-wise operation is performed, at that time dot is used. Otherwise, not. Suppose, for example, suppose A is an array. Suppose A is an array 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one array. This is one array. Another array B equal to suppose 10, 20, 30, 40. Two arrays is there. Now if we multiply the elements of A and B array, A and B array element wise, then it is required. Suppose A star is not star, A dot star B. A dot star B. This is the element wise multiplication. Here if you put star, then it will be wrong. It will be wrong. Because only star indicates the matrix multiplication. Only star, if you put only star, or when the variable is matrix, in that case, only star indicates the matrix multiplication. The matrix multiplication, but here AB is not multiplication compatible. In dimension is not matches for multiplication. So error is there. But we give another example. Suppose 2, 3, 4 equals 3. 2 by 2. This is one matrix. another matrix. This is another matrix. If you want to multiply A star B, this is the matrix multiplication. This is the matrix multiplication. Is it clear? No. So we have to,
Yes, sir.
when we use dot, when uh, we, uh, we have not used dot, it must be clear.
Sir, I have a question.
Huh?
Sir, can I use a user-defined function in command window?
Obviously, obviously. Already we
Sir,
have used
please,
facto.
sir, please
We
give
have,
an example, sir.
example, already we have used facto.
Okay, sir.
Facto already we have used, okay?
Okay.
The facto, suppose 5, facto 5, you see.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, actually, all basic things up to functions we have discussed. All these concepts will be used for further class tomorrow and day after tomorrow. But up to this point, if you have any doubt, any query regarding concept, please, without any hesitation, tell me.
Sir, can I use break statement or the continue statement in nested loop?
Actually, you have whenever you are required, whenever you are skip some statement, but whenever you are skip out from the whole loop, no, when it will be nested or other things, you can use it.
Okay, sir.
Break and continue actually required for breaking the loop. Clear? Breaking the loop. Actually, in which part you are using it. That is important. If you use the inner loop, so that break you will skip out from that part. Why whole part? Just common sense you use. There are two inner loop, one nested loop is there. We have used the innermost part. Actually, break has used innermost. So when that will be satisfied, so control will be comes out from that section. Any query?
Sir, I have
So,
Huh?
Sir, is there any rule for giving program name? Sir, for example, can I give space at the time of giving program name?
Program name.
Yes, sir.
Program names means file name. File name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. File name.
File name is just like a variable. In this case, a function name. When you define the function, at that case, function name will be file name.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
You give the file name, you give the function name, and that name will be the name of function of file name. Otherwise, that common sense is there.
Okay, sir.
If you not mention same, how that can be identified? Listen. See here, I have used facto n. Actually, facto n, this function is set in a file facto. Okay. If it is that is not same, it cannot be identified. How can we identify? In that sense, these will be same. Function name and file name will be same.
Okay,
Are
sir.
you
Okay, sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
so
Sir, one more question, sir.
uh,
Sir, like overleaf, is there any online free platform for using MATLAB coding?
please repeat again.
আমি বলতে চাইছি মানে ওভারলিপে যেমন ল্যাটেক্স ফ্রিতে করা যায়, তো অনলাইনে কি
ম্যাটল্যাবটা
এরকম কোনো
অনলাইনে তো,
প্ল্যাটফর্ম?
ম্যাটল্যাব অনলাইন, ম্যাটল্যাব অনলাইন করা যায়। ম্যাটল্যাব তোমার সফটওয়্যার না থাকলেও তুমি অনলাইনে ওই ম্যাথ ওয়ার্কস যেটা, ঠিক আছে, ওদের ওখানে একটা তোমার ক্রিয়েট করতে হবে, লগ ইন দিয়ে তোমার ইউজার ক্রিয়েট করলেই তুমি ওখানে ফ্রিতে করতে পারবে তোমার নেটে, ইন্টারনেটে। এটাকে ইনস্টল করার দরকার হবে না, অনলাইনেই কাজ করা যাবে।
স্যার স্যার সফটওয়্যারটার নাম কি স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, এটা তো
সফটওয়্যারটার নাম একটু বলুন।
ম্যাথ ওয়ার্কস, এই যে ম্যাটল্যাব অ্যাকচুয়ালি কাদের, এটা ম্যাথ ওয়ার্কস লিমিটেড না। ইয়ে তুমি নেটে দাও না, নেটে ম্যাথ দিলে কি দেবে?
স্যার mathworks.com এ ফ্রিতে মান্থলি 20 আওয়ার্স কাজ করতে পারি আর কি আমরা।
সেটা হতে পারে আর কি, এগুলো ফ্রিতে করতে দেবে না, পয়সা দিতে হবে।
মান্থলি 20 আওয়ার্স ফ্রি।
এই যে ম্যাথ ওয়ার্কস ইজ ভিজিবল।
ইয়েস
ম্যাথ ওয়ার্কস এখানে এগুলোতে লগ ইন করা থাকলে, ইউজার ক্রিয়েট করা থাকলে, তাহলে এখানে ঢোকা যাবে, ঢুকে ওখান থেকে ডাইরেক্ট কাজ করে যাবে। হ্যাঁ প্লিজ।
Hello, excuse me, sir.
হ্যাঁ
Sir, this is my humble request to all the participants in you too, sir. Sir, please speak in English because sometimes we are not able to understand Bengali.
okay. Right. Please, any problem?
স্যার, স্যার অ্যামস জিলাটের বই বাদ দিয়ে আর কোনো একটা বই সাজেস্ট করুন যেখানে একটু অ্যাডভান্স লেভেলের
Actually,
ম্যাটল্যাবের কোডিং আছে।
just one participant is
Excluding the Amos Gillard for advanced MATLAB coding.
MATLAB coding.
Yes.
There are different book. Very easily we can understand the book MATLAB programming. MATLAB programming, Singh Chaudhary. Practice of publication. Except these programming in MATLAB, Patel Mittal. Except these for numerical, another book is there. What book you have mentioned? Jane?
Sir, what is the name of the publisher?
Pearson. I think for beginners. MATLAB programming, Singh Chaudhary, according to our view, fine. You can easily
হ্যালো স্যার, বলছি স্টাডি মেটেরিয়াল পাওয়া যাবে মানে পরে
study
এসএসএস?
material. Maybe updated. You have to communicate our HOD.
ওকে স্যার।
HOD actually, these are recording. You can get this video lecture. Okay, the recording.
Hello,
Madam, please.
sir. I have a doubt in that broad statement. Will you please explain that once again?
Which things?
So that broad statement,
Which statement?
the broad.
Fraud.
Yes, sir.
No, fraud. That's a fraud statement. Variable.
Yes, sir.
হ্যাঁ স্যার বলুন।
Just a minute. Fraud. This is the statement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Please speak out your problem.
Sir,
This is variable.
define.
This is variable, madam. Please. This is variable. You can use any name according to the nomenclature of MATLAB. You can use X also. If you use X,
Sir,
suppose you
so what
can.
is the meaning of this prod?
Prod means actually specifically there is no means. Prod means product.
So, for example, we use factor for factorial. So,
Factor.
so,
How
so there is
factorial?
some specific meaning of this prod, or we can take any variable here.
Any variable. You can use any variable. There are no specific name. Please listen.
Acha.
There
Okay,
is
sir.
no specific name. You can use any variable for this purpose. This is prod is a variable. Prod is a variable that is required to store the product. Here,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
you
So
see
it is.
here, you see here.
Yes,
We
sir.
are going on product. Okay, so you have to store in a variable. In a
Okay,
variable.
sir.
If you use X, then here will be X. Here will be X. Here will be X.
It means a
Uh,
prod is the abbreviation of product.
yeah, basically, actually, you have to take care when you define a variable, how variable will be defined.
Yes, sir.
There will be different
Okay,
names,
sir.
but it should be defined like way that uh, the its function, its role of the
Yes,
program
sir.
is the same as
Okay,
its
sir.
shape. Uh,
Yes, sir.
it will
Yeah,
be
it is clear to me, sir, now.
it will be
Thank you, sir.
Sir, so there is a four partition of this screen. The one is workspace and then the command window, and the one is where you are coding. So please differentiate all these windows.
please speak out again. I
So
don't
as
listen
we see,
clearly.
yes, sir.
Uh,
So as we see in that our MATLAB window part is in part of five
uh,
partition. So one is workspace and one is command window and
Workplace is
another.
there. Is your workplace is there? Like this? Is it like this workplace? Is the workplace?
So, sir, I
This is the
want to.
workplace.
So please explain these windows. I am not
What?
getting. Workspace is used for assigning the variables.
Actually, workplace is that place. In that place, all variables are stored, which are now you are working. You are
Currently
working.
working.
Currently working. Currently working. All that variables will be shown in this workplace. Like that, your workplace. What variables? For this reason, some if you notice here I given a fact, FSCT fact, but that is not working because fact already have been defined. So for this reason, that is not identified. So for that reason, there is some error. I think you have noticed that things. So this is
Yes,
the
sir.
workplace.
Yes.
When you what is the advantage? What is the requirement of this workplace? When you define a variable, you have to check that variable already defined or not. So in each place you have check. In this workplace you have to check. If it is already defined, you ignore that name. You take another name. That is the workplace. This is the command editor. This is the editor window. This is the command window. This is current folder. You are seeing here. Clear?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think.
Sir, I have one more question.
Huh?
Suppose, sir, I have some data in Excel file. Now, if we want to find the mean, median, mode from this Excel file using the MATLAB code program, sir, how can we export this Excel file through MATLAB?
Here also is there all files. If you have a data file, you can get all data from that file in your program, MATLAB program. Okay, that also here that will be discussed later class. Yep,
Okay.
class is later also, na? We will be aware about that. I think in the next class.
Okay, sir.
Just in this class, I have completed, if you remember it, I have completed how to write MATLAB coding, and for writing the coding, what are requirements, what are control structure, what are loop structure, what are input statement, output statement. Uh, there are huge things which I have not discussed. Actually, that is not possible. But those we have discussed, using that, you can write down any program, I think. If you
Yes, sir.
remember this concept, what we have told in last 2 hours, I think you can do any types of solve any types of program. Huh.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You, sir.
Stop writing. Thank you all.